We hired another guy, Alex. He's a young guy. He did AT&T sales over the phone. He was your customer service person. You called, got him out of that. Yes, ma'am. No, not yet. I'll answer you. We got him out of that. We brought him on. With him, we're not really knowing where we're going to go with him. Me and Paul had a discussion yesterday about him, and he's not out selling. I've taken him out a couple times. He gets really frustrated when he gets told no. His
Okay.
door to door is not very well. Like, I mean, I talked to him. I was like, "How many houses have you gone to in an hour?" He was like, "I've been to five," and I got
In
told
an
no.
hour?
Right. So I had the conversation with him. Right.
Nine
So he's
minutes? Or
not
no, that's
yet.
like
So
12 minutes.
right for each house, and I'm like, "Well, it's great he's having a conversation, but apparently he's not having the right conversation."
Okay.
So he gets told no every time. So after like 8 houses, 8 to 12 houses, he's done for the day. Well, I
Okay.
expect if you're going to door to door knock, you're going to have to knock on 60 a day. If you can, if that you're a full time salesman, that's all you do. You don't get paid anybody else besides us and what you sell.
Right.
So, and he gets paid $50 an inspection. He's not getting on roofs.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, so it's one of those crazy things. And I talked to him last night, and I was like, man, we're going to set up a meeting. It's not a bad meeting. I just want to sit you down and see where we're at,
Yeah.
because I'm still selling a lot, but I mean I'm getting referrals. Because I ask for them, and then I don't have to go knock on doors because I do that. I was like, well, you haven't sold a roof yet, so you can't get referrals yet.
Right.
So we're working with him really, really hard on that to be able to get on a roof. He's been with us for 2 months and hasn't been on one roof,
He hasn't gotten a single. Okay.
not a
So
single inspection.
So today, just before I get carried away, because as you're
Uh,
telling me these things, I'm like, we should talk about this. We should talk about this. Is
yes,
today, are you intending for today to kind of be about targeting these circumstances with these people now and kind of how
yeah,
to
that
move
would
forward
be
with them?
great.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean it's one of those things. It's either we let him go because we don't want to sell, or he doesn't want to be with us, or we try to teach him how to sell.
Right.
And right now, I'm so busy with my, obviously dealing with David stuff because he's selling. My two other salesmen that work for me are selling.
Right.
We have one salesman that's part time. He goes to school and sells with us. He's got five roofs going on right now, so I'm
Right.
trying to bounce between David, Colin, and then we got Alex, plus my other roofs going on because I
Okay.
have commercial roofs going on also. So like I'm doing my commercial jobs plus my residential, and then we're fighting with State Farm. Me and Liz are fighting with State Farm right now on a tile roof. So it's like I feel like I'm taking up a lot of my time and not giving it to them.
Right.
So I'd like to be out in the field more, but I'm not with them.
So I actually have, and
Oh,
I don't think you guys are in it yet. This is not, it doesn't really matter. We can still talk about it. There's a lesson that I
gotcha.
have in the sales team management program. And
Okay.
that program is basically like I made it for the role of a sales manager to deal with salespeople. Like when you deal with salespeople and this is happening, like here's what how to diagnose what's going on. So one of my lessons in there we talk about, and this is what we'll kind of talk about right now, is about deciding if people are worth it, right? Like because there's
Okay.
there's really two. I think I talk about three different types of salespeople. There are people who are willing and able, and those people are badasses, right? Like they're
Mm-hmm.
willing to do the work,
They're the
and they're
one
also
percenters.
exactly they're also able to do it. Like you know, the, I firmly believe, and I'm sure that you believe this also at this point, anyways. Most people, 80% of people or 90% can do sales, right? Like they're able
Mm-hmm.
to do it. But then there is just that fraction of people who they're like not cut out for it at all. Either just like painfully anxious or shy, or they have a really high temper, so they can't deal with the dialogue that has to take place when you're closing. They
Uh-huh.
get mad, right? But most people are not that extreme. Like most people can do
Mm-hmm.
it. So most people are able, and the biggest chip that you're trying to find is like, is this person willing to do it? So there's the willing and able, and that's like the people that just they're great. You let them loose, they're rocking and rolling. You just give them what they need, you support them, they do great. Then you have people who are able but not willing. And those are the guys that are
Okay.
like talented and you're frustrated when you watch them because you're like, dude, if you just stopped being a lazy bum, like you would do
Mm-hmm.
great at this. Those people are frustrating too because you could spend so much time trying to get those people to do the job and you don't really get a whole lot out of them, which is unfortunate because they can. So those people are kind of
Right.
an interesting case. Then the third people are the people who are, so there's really four. The third class of people are people who are willing but not able.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the worst because it's like these people are trying so hard, but they're just not connecting the dots. Like they're just, God bless them. They're doing their
Yeah. Right.
darndest, right? But you're just like, ugh,
Uh-huh.
Tommy, why can't you do like I want you
Why
to
can't you sell it? And I would
exactly.
he would be more of the anger. I think because he's a downer to sell with.
Sounds
Like
like
I
an
hate
ego problem.
yeah, I was gonna say I hate selling with him. I think if he can get out there and do it himself, but he's got to be also willing to hit
Right.
60 houses in a day.
Right.
He's like, he asked me why I don't hit 60 houses a day. I was like, well, because I've been doing it a while and most of my jobs are off referrals. I don't
Right.
have to hit 60 houses a
Right.
day. But if I have time, I will go hit 20 or 30, and
Exactly.
go to that's how I got to the houses in Norman
Right.
plus more. So, and that was a big thing. Plus we work off that. And I was like, I tried to give him a roof. So I was like, hey, I have a roof for you. We're going to go meet together. I should be making the commission. I'm not mad at making the commission, but I'll give it to you so you can see the process and kind of see how it goes so we can put you on.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's been back to the house.
Okay.
So, and that was a big thing. So I'm going to take back over, and because it's a lead from our office manager,
Right.
and that's what me and Paula talked about yesterday. He asked me exactly what we said when we just talked about what you just said. Is he worth it? Is he worth spending your time anymore? Is he worth us having a cell phone on? Is he worth us ordering shirts again for? Is he worth that we just order cards, which we didn't order usually the cards we ordered because we did, we gave them the cheaper cards, which is fine.
Right.
But was he worth doing all that? And as of last night, I talked to Paul and I was like, I don't believe so. But I'd like to meet with him, give him a chance to, give me his side of the story and see where we're at.
Right.
So I'm not just letting him go and saying, did I miss something? Am I not explaining something right that's not clicking to you? So that's kind of the meeting I wanted to have with him.
Right. And that's a really good point. So there's two sides of the coin you have to look at. Like at this point, like based on what you've described, and of course this is a nutshell version, right? Like I don't have the whole story about everything, and I'm not there. I can't see him interacting with customers or with you or anything like that. But based on what you've shared with me so far, the biggest question that I have is, what would you, Dustin, get more of a return for with your energy? Time spent with Alex, or that same amount of time spent either with your other producing salespeople or your own sales? What's going to get you more?
The sales principal with me. I mean, it wouldn't be, not with Alex.
Right.
So
now, you don't want to use that logic every time with new people because, of
Right.
course, your time is better spent personally going out and closing than working with 2-week-old Jimmy who just started and doesn't know his elbow from his asshole yet in this business because they're new. But you do have to invest that amount of time. But a certain point comes to where it's like, dude, if this guy isn't figuring it out at this point, and you really are doing everything possible, and the same people who started with him are doing well, either one big obvious chunk of training is missing, like he's just missing something very obvious and important that it's like, well, shit, dude, if we knew that this was the problem before, you would have probably had 5 deals in the pipeline by now. Or he's probably not worth your time. And that's unfortunate to say, but sometimes you don't want to skip to that every single time because that's the easy thing to do and say, well, he's just not. But the biggest hurdle for you guys to deal with salespeople is their attitude. And if his attitude is like, well, it's the people, or like he's got a real hot temper or something, that's not as simple to fix. He has to decide to fix that. It's not just like, well, here's exactly what you say when a customer says this at the door. That's learning a line. Managing your emotions during door knocking is something that like they have to be willing to do. You know what I mean? So I think that, have you listened to him door knock, first of all?
I have. He's actually not bad at it.
Okay.
He says exactly what we want him to say.
Okay.
And well, he's what I said. Hey, you can put it in your own words. This is what we want you to say. Let me hear it if you're going to put it in your words. So we did the whole role play and everything like that. He did a great job.
Okay.
And then we went to door knocking, and he did a good job. It's exactly what he said. Good pitch. But it was the way he was saying it. Like it's not happy. It's not like it's like, hey, my name is Alex. I'm with Goodman Construction.
Okay.
Like that. It's not, hey, how you doing? Like trying to get some excitement there when you're meeting somebody. And I've talked to him about that. And then he did his next couple houses, and I saw him again a couple days later when we went out, and he did it again. So I don't know if it's, but I think he's only doing it because I see him on 1 or 2 houses. I don't see him 8 to 12 houses down the road.
Right. Yeah.
Because I got my own area. Usually I'll go down there with them. They need help. I'm down there usually in the area. Like they'll hit this street, I'll hit this street, and we'll go to that street.
Right.
Is what we did for a while. Now I don't have time to go down there and hit streets with them every night. I might make it out 1 or 2 nights a week.
Yeah.
So, but,
is he just like,
yes.
Okay.
That's almost exactly how he does.
Okay. Then
So,
honestly, like, I would, my gut reaction to this whole situation is if that's the way he just kind of is, then it's like you're going to have a real hard time trying to get him to where he needs to be. Your time is probably better spent. You don't have to fire him. However, you can let him weed himself out. You can basically have a meeting with him, sit down and be like, so Alex, so you've been with us for, 2 months now. Did he start as the same time as some of those other guys?
As David did, yeah.
David,
as
okay.
my guy that works 8 to 5 every day.
Yeah.
Goes out from 5 to 7. That sold 4 roofs and obviously, well, he's actually altogether he's got 6 roofs he's working right now.
Yeah.
For 2 months, which is great because he only sells maybe 2 to 3 nights a week because he has a baby on the way too.
Right. Okay.
So his wife's like almost done. So he's trying to get me home for her and stuff like that. But he sold that. Well, he's not full time, but Alex is, and he hasn't sold anything.
Right.
So that's the big thing. Not on one roof since he's been here.
Yeah. Like here's what I would do. I would sit down with him and be like, almost like you're not going to tell him how he's doing. You want him to tell you how he's doing, and be like, sit down with him and just be like, so Alex, I mean, how do you feel like things are going? You've been here for 2 months now. You and David have been working out of the same training group, and like, how do you feel like things are going so far? I mean, are you on pace with your goals? And just kind of, and it seems like a really obvious question. He might even be annoyed that you're asking that because obviously he's not on pace, but that's kind of the point. And he's going to give you his answer. Well, no, dude. I mean, I feel like his customers are tough or whatever it is that he's going to say. And then be like, okay, well, what do you feel like is the biggest thing holding you back from getting to where you want to be? Because I feel like, and I'm not going to compare you to other salespeople because there's really no sense in doing that. However, I can't help but notice that David, who started the exact same time as you, has the exact same training as you, is working a full-time, not like regular job, like works until 5 o'clock every single day, and then goes and only spends a couple hours doing the same things that you're doing. But he's already got, 5 deals in the pipeline right now, or four deals. Like, what do you think about that? Just say that, right? And then he's going to give you, and he's either going to point to excuses. And if he points to excuses, you already know it's not worth your time because he's saying it's not me, it's the customers. Well, David is this, or if I just had this, and that's how you already know it's not going to be a good fit. But if he really opens up and is like, dude, I honestly feel like I'm trying everything I can, I'm just not getting the results, then that's the type of answer that you can work with because it's like, well, how can I help you? What can I do to get you there? Because at this point, Alex, like, the results obviously aren't good. Like, this is not meant to be insulting or anything like that, but you need to make money, don't you? And he's going to say yes. Right. And it's like, well, if we're doing everything that we can and you're doing everything that you can here and you're not making any money, then maybe you should try to make money somewhere else. Like, we need to figure out, though, are you committed to figuring this out? Or do you feel like maybe this isn't the right fit for you? Either answer is okay, right? So you make it about him and his well-being. Like, Alex, you need to make a living. I know that. I'm not here to, bust your ass about not getting the results that I want. It's not about me. I'm making my money. David's making his money. You need to make money, and I care about you. So I need to know, what do you need from me to help you make this work?
Okay. Sounds good. But that's the big thing is what we're going to have the discussion with them tomorrow about is, exactly what you said. And that helps out a lot just to be able to word it correctly. Right. Everything you're thinking, as I was thinking, but I didn't know how to get it out. That's because me and Paula talked about that.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely have that conversation with them.